Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. MP for Dabadi Omera and Minister in the Ministry of Education, Lisa Morris-Julian, she joins us in the wake of local government elections to see what can lie beyond. Welcome, Minister. Thank you for making the time. How are you doing?
Very happy to be here. I had to make the time.
I see you're still in red. I don't know if that's because recounts are going on, but I want to ask about your feelings from the results thus far of the local government elections on Monday, 14th.
Yes, the recount for Rima Northeast is still ongoing. I'm quite confident that we will prevail also in Rima Northeast, and we concluded Rima West Omera yesterday, and we won by 42 votes. So I'm quite happy. The borough remains red.
Now, looking at people's perceptions of what it is they expect, we've heard the Prime Minister speak a few times about the need for civics. We've heard other calls for civics. So I'm actually glad that this is your Minister in the Ministry of Education as well. How do we kind of fit it in? Is it something for school? Is it for something outside? How do we make people a little more aware?
Well, civics is actually covered under social studies curriculum, but what we plan to do is just incorporate it more to get rid of the voter apathy from a young age. Let young people know and pass it on to other young people the importance of democracy and the importance of voting, and just overall being a civic-minded young person is being a civic-minded citizen, and that is good for the country.
And definitely looking at the way that we can all help to increase the positivity around us. It makes me think of the increments that you would have taken. So you speak about legacy, looking at the fact that you've been in local government elections in a very integral sort of manner, representing as a councillor, as mayor. Is there one that you prefer a little more, local government or general?
I love local government. I love local government because it is personal. I said it on the platforms a few times that local government is personal, because it's personal to me, to you. Your councillor is supposed to be someone you can reach at any time. It's supposed to be someone that understands the issues that you have, because they live in the same borough. They have the same problems, and they're willing to help you solve it. I enjoyed being a councillor. I liked being deputy mayor. I loved being mayor, because Arima is a special place to me. But I think that I am able to do more good currently in the position that I'm in.
How do you make that step, in the sense that, yes, okay, well, you start off being a civic-minded individual, yes, but then decide to make that decision to say, okay, well, I'm going to offer myself in this manner and going from the local government perspective, how do you say, okay, well, I want to be a little more, I want to do a little more, I want to serve a little more?
In my particular case, it wouldn't be the same as my colleagues in local government. My grandmother on my mother's side was the first female councillor in Valencia. My grandfather on my father's side, he was mayor for Rima and councillor for Calvary. My great uncle was councillor for Rima Central. So it's in my blood. But the reason why I decided to get involved, at 2010, I was dissatisfied. So at 2013, Dr. Rowley made a call to young people. And that's what happened with me. I decided to offer myself, because he said, if you don't like it, you can change it by being part of the solution. And that's why I always encourage persons to screen if they think that they have something to offer and they want to share. And I always say, screen, be seen, offer yourselves. There are many ways to serve, not just as a councillor.
Do you think the screening process is a little different now? Yes, we heard in many areas it was oversubscribed, but the fact that you may not be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to be a councillor and X, so it's going to be totally this. Do you see that as something that's a little different now?
No, the screening process is the same as it has always been for my political party, in the sense that you offer yourself, and the political leader and leadership decide who is the best fit. And they look at many different factors. And even if you're not successful, as I said, there are many ways to serve. And we see that often. In Arima West O'Meara, for example, the campaign manager was someone who screened. He wasn't successful, and he became an excellent strategic campaign manager. So these things happen.
Definitely. And so we spoke a little bit about civics and kind of veered into being a civic-minded person. But having people know, okay, well, the knowledge there is that, okay, well, you're supposed to advocate or ask this person for this specific service versus this person, so like local government versus central government. It feels as though there was a lot of conversation about that on the campaign leading up. Do you, from feedback that you were getting, do you think is something that people generally understood, or there's more of that to be done?
Well, it seemed to me as if our opponents didn't understand it was a local government election. And for you to understand the importance of local governance, it's not a central government issue. When you look at your garbage, that's important to me. Garbage collection is important to me. That's local government. Cleaning of the roads, the drains, local government. Road repairs, local government. Small bridges, local government. All these factors directly affect you in your home, in your town, in your borough, in your city. So that's the part of local government that didn't come across from the other side during the campaign. What can we do to fix this? And for us, local government reform. Give the power to the people.
Coming out in the 7-7, looking at reform, looking at rolling out, looking at how it is precedents are set in corporations and the 14 those 14 districts. Do you see any challenges to what it is your party is trying to do?
I think that once you're sworn in, it's without fear or favor, and you're supposed to serve all. And I am quite certain that everyone will be on board with local government reform. I was actually disappointed to see current colleagues in Parliament who were once local government practitioners like myself not seem to grasp or were unwilling to grasp that our colleagues needed this reform and that we needed to support the reform going forward. And for me, it was interesting to see that local government reform was not what they received. It was more about general election. We have time for that. Reform is here. It's going to be implemented. And we hope that all right-minded citizens, all right-minded thinking citizens will support us as we move forward.
And I like the fact that you talk about other colleagues in Parliament who would have gone through, who would have been part of the local government side of things. How do you think that helps you where you are now? You said right now your story is a little different than many of your colleagues, but you're better able to serve where you are at this point in time. That background in local government, how does it help what you do?
It is excellent training. You learn to be responsive. You get to interact with persons on a personal level. I aim to always keep my local government touch about me and to be accessible, easy to reach, and to solve problems quickly. Because as a local government practitioner, you have to fix it now because that's what people want. The people want you to see about it immediately. And with reform, my colleagues in local government can do that at a lot quicker pace than I would have been able to do not so long ago.
And we actually heard that part of that process has moved from 19 steps to 7.
Yes.
And this is something that we continue to speak about when we return. We are speaking with Minister Lisa Morris-Julian, MP for Dabadi O'Meara, as well as Minister in the Ministry of Education. Stay with us. We return with more. Welcome back. We are looking beyond the local government elections 2023. We're doing so with MP for Dabadi Omera Lisa Morris-Julian. And you started speaking about it, Minister, but I want you to go in on it a little more in terms of the messages, narratives sent by current alliances. And this is against the backdrop that normally there needs to be, or there has been, a coalition of some sort to supplant, for want of a better word, the PNM. What kind of energy, what are your thoughts about the election or the local government election just passed?
Well, I can tell you as a mother, I was really disappointed with the clip narrative, with the stand your ground narrative as a mother of a young black man that I'm trying to make sure he's guided. And as a parent of young adults, I felt that this was not necessary in local government. It's impossible to deal with in local government. Our party, the PNM, showed more municipal police, and we would increase it to assist in all aspects of the borough. And I felt the conversation and the messages became so skewed because, again, my colleagues didn't realize it was a local government election that was taking place. It wasn't a general election. And the coalition, personally, it was a joke to me. And NTA and UNC, and I'm not sure what Mr. Warner, if he's back with the UNC, but the coming together did not have the impact that they thought it would. And in fact, I think it actually detracted, which is always good for us. And when it comes to the PNM, they would always join together to try to beat us. But our political leader, he accepted a few former UNC candidates. And I think that's a good message. You can't beat us, so join us.
And even looking at within, I mean, Arima Central specifically,
yes,
the fact that you had someone who would have represented PNM, represented UNC, and is back in the fold, and this is something that you would have spoken about before. But is it positive? Okay, we think we can do more with PNM, or let's just try this instead of.
Sheldon Garcia was always PNM in his own words, right? But he was afforded the opportunity to run under the UNC. He is a popular, very well-liked person in Arima Central. That's where he grew up, that's where he's from. And that is part of local government. You need to be from the area, from your town, and you need to serve in many different capacities. And in his case, he was the bus driver for many persons in the neighborhood. And the party would not have accepted him if he didn't demonstrate to us character, the quality of service, and commitment. He is actually a very dedicated and committed person. And for us in the People's National Movement, it's always about service. And Mr. Garcia, from the time he was successful, he actually put people first. People, not party. So that is why the transition to the PNM, that's why we open our door to him once more.
And looking at that opening of door, that inclusivity, that if you can't beat them, join them. Is there a different level of screening, a different level of scrutiny? Some people said, be careful, Trojan horses. What is your thought process when dealing with individuals like that?
They go through a very thorough screening process. The executive is allowed to ask questions. The Dabadi Omera executive, the Arima executive would be part of the screening process along with the leadership. And we had our opportunity to grill him, and we were all satisfied. He is a good candidate. He is soon to be a good councillor, and he will do very well in our party.
And what are you hoping for coming out? Okay, well, local government elections is passed, but in terms of that level of reform, are there some things that you're looking to see hopefully happen first? And especially because this is, like you said, it's in your DNA. You've come through the system.
I'm actually very excited with our new mayors and chairman. I think it's a good mix. We have Baliram Maraj in Arima, right? He's a older person with experience in business and loves Arima. We have Chinua Allen in Port of Spain, young, energetic, vibrant. We have Robert Paris in San Fernando, also a very energetic person. There are many young faces who have been with us for some time, so don't get confused with the youth. They are very experienced PNM practitioners. They understand the politics and they will get the job done. So I think that we will have the perfect team going forward for local government reform. So I'm really happy.
Is there anything you hope, what is it excites you the most? And I'm really happy to hear you use that word excited. And looking at the mix of youth and experience, even though, like you said, youth has been involved, so it's not as though people just wash their foot and come. But what are you most excited for?
I'm really excited to see the implementation of the reform, that it becomes full-time. So my colleagues don't have to juggle work, council, and home. Now it'll be home and work. That they'll be able to participate fully, that they can take charge of their destiny. For Arima in particular, we would want Arima to become a city one day. So I'm looking forward to the administrative complex. Dabadi Umar has 5 of the 7 seats in the Arima borough, and we are invested in seeing Arima improve and continue to grow. For my colleagues in the different districts, it'll be the same thing. More timely responses, more job creations. This is an ideal time to be part of the local government revolution. It's happening.
And I really think Arima is interesting in the way that the mixed demographics, the way that it seems really poised to be this place where things are checked and tested before scaled up a little more. So so we'll see what it is what you're saying about the city. But so expatiate on that a little bit.
Jones P. Madera once said, at least I think it's Jones, don't crucify me if it's not, that if God is a Trinidadian, he was born in Arima. Yes. So that should tell you how we view ourselves, the Arima borough. We want to know who you are, what your grandfather used to do, what school your great aunt went to. And that is why after the politics, we're always able to put aside our differences and meet up on Borough Day. We are a very close-knit community, and we do not allow the negativity to really rupture our relationships. So I think when local government reform is happening, no matter what political party, everyone will support it as we move forward.
And you say that, and all I'm hearing in my mind is the words of Merchant and talking about now the election back in Aldaya. I hope you hear what you have to say, because like you said, the main thing is the main thing, and that would be service. Service
to the people. In my constituency, our motto is serve people, serve God. And I told all the new councillors that continue to put God first and continue to serve the people. Once they do that, everything will be okay.
With that, we want to thank you very much, Lisa Morris-Julian, MP for Dabadi O'Meara.
Thank you for having me.
For your service and your time. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, I'm Dike Rostant. This has been In Depth with me. Thank you so much for joining us.